Back live with you tonight in Focus, and thanks for staying on. A report into how police handled intelligence that Western Cape top policeman Charl Kinnear was in danger has pointed the finger directly at senior police chiefs for failure to act to protect Kinnear. He was shot and killed as he left his Cape Town home on 18th of September 2020. The report blames several senior police chiefs, including the head of the Hawks, General Godfrey Lebeya, among others. IPID compiled the report after a month-long investigation to determine the circumstances surrounding the assassination. Joining us now for her reaction is Nicolette Kinnear, widow of Charl Kinnear. Nicolette, good evening. Good to have you, and thank you very much for your time. Are you at all surprised at the findings of IPID in this report?
Hi, good evening. Thank you for having me. No, not at all. Obviously, as we know, the report has been classified, then it's not, then it is. But obviously, we had sight of it, even the one that was released last year. So, yeah, I'm familiar with the content, yes.
And how do you feel about the fact that the assassination of your husband could have been stopped, as far as what is coming out here, and could have been stopped by the police at the highest level, at the boss of the Hawks?
You know what, for me, it's immensely frustrating. It's pretty much what I've been shouting and saying for the past 25 months. I've said right from the beginning that nothing can be undone. But what we need to do is accept accountability and responsibility. I feel that the longer this thing drags on, the more egg we are flung with on our faces, or rather sacks. I've got filming companies in abroad, in other countries, that's doing documentaries and stuff, and they are astounded by all of this everyday backtracking. Every day it's another thing, ducking and diving. It's becoming to the point of embarrassment now, actually.
Yeah. The last time we spoke to you, you said actually some of the people that you suspect would probably come out in these investigations were actually assigned to you as your protectors. At some point, you yourself feeling unsafe. When you see the names that are coming up in this report, what do you know about those particular police officers? Are they still working? Are they employed still with the South African police? Have they been assigned to any of the investigations that should be conducted here?
So one thing that is extremely frustrating for us as a family is that I think what we need to clear is that this...
All right, we seem to have lost the audio there of Nicolette. We'll try and connect with her in a moment. We seem to have lost her on the line there. Nicolette Kinnear, widow of Charl Kinnear, reacting, of course, to the report by IPID. Right, Nicolette, I think we've got you back there. So you were saying that there are some who are still involved in investigating the murder of your husband?
Look, this thing is so complex that, I mean, it goes back, way back to the 59-page doc that my husband submitted in 2018. Even that document, nothing has been done. So there are still people, or those officers are still working. What has been immensely frustrating for me is that because of the brutality with my husband's assassination, the organization has many times tried to portray me as being this grieving widow, traumatized, seeing shadows behind my curtain, etc. And that is what I've been trying to say all the time, that my husband was fighting the enemy from the outside as well as within. My family has been exposed to the enemy on the outside as well as within. And I think the report has just made it clear. It's just a matter of accountability. And what I cannot understand is IPID has done an investigation. IPID, if we could call it, these suspects are police officers, because that is their job, to investigate police officers. How can an independent organization report to the suspects' bosses to start with? That I don't understand. Because ultimately it doesn't matter who the suspect is. IPID still reports to the minister, which in this case would be in our senior SAPS official. So what now happens? How independent does the report stay? What do I do now? Do I proceed with IPID recommendations, or do I try and protect my senior officials? That's ultimately what he's been left with. So it doesn't make sense, firstly, why IPID as an independent organization still reports to the police minister. And now we've had so many investigations. IPID received the mandate as I presented to the portfolio committee in February 2021 via the previous national commissioner as well as the minister. Now they've taken 15 months and they've presented the report. They've done the investigation, it's completed. And as I was told when we were at the last portfolio committee meeting, now SAPS has just gone and they've started another investigation. So why did IPID do an investigation? We are wasting resources. If IPID is assigned to investigate, and they've done so, and they've made recommendations, my question is another investigation now just being held because we are not happy with the IPID recommendations and we are hoping that now we're going to find something else? It just doesn't make sense.
So IPID recommends a warrant officer and a major general be internally and criminally charged for defeating the ends of justice. Also, the police minister to investigate the head of the Hawks. Do you think any of these recommendations would be carried out?
As I say, that is now exactly where it comes to play, because now you've got, like in this case now, what is the minister going to do? Is he now going to follow on IPID's recommendations, which is then ultimately could be that he needs to charge the senior officer in charge of the Hawks? That is the dilemma. So it doesn't make sense in the first place why the report has to go to him. He's sitting on a two-edged sword here as it is now.
Nicolette Kinnear, appreciate your time. Thank you very much for coming on. That is Nicolette Kinnear, widow of Charl Kinnear, saying it doesn't make sense at this particular point what actions will come from the police minister. Well, the report is out. Certainly we'll be looking at what action is going to be taken coming from the recommendations of this report.